Well, there was another receiver who got a new quarterback this week, George Pickens, catching balls from Russell Wilson. Finally scored his first touchdown of the season. Second 100-plus yard game. Made some really nice downfield sideline catches, doing George Pickens things.
Yeah.
Exactly what you always hope from him.
The thing that makes me so mad about it is that Justin Fields, I know he can make that throw because the throw was so god-awful. It's like, just throw the ball deep to Pickens every now and then, bro.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
He'll go catch it, and you'll look great.
Yeah, in my eyes, if he was willing to take more of those deep shots and just float them instead of throwing, easier said than done. Everybody praises Russell Wilson for his touch and stuff. Collinsworth was gagging on him the whole night.
Yeah, of course. He always does.
Now here's a guy.
Yeah, right? But yeah, Pickens looked great. I don't think, personally, that Russell Wilson looked all that great. Like, a lot of the throws, like, the most impressive catch, it hit the corner in the back of the head, like 3 yards behind George Pickens. Like, it was an underthrown ball.
Yeah.
And Pickens just made an incredible play on it.
Yeah.
But going forward, do you guys think we'll see more consistent production out of Pickens? Because that's kind of been his thing, where he's off and on a lot, where you'll get 30 points or 4.
I think you'll see a lot more consistency from that, because that's all Russell wants to do. Is he's been wanting to do that for the last 5 years, is just throw that bitch up and just have somebody catch it.
Yeah.
And this is the guy who's actually good. Like Cortland Sutton, he could do it sometimes, but
right. Yeah. We saw how many touchdowns. That was a double-digit touchdown score last year because Russ was willing to just float him up and let his guy make a play.
Yep.
Yeah, I always go back to the meshing between a quarterback and what a quarterback likes to do and what the skill set of the receiver is, and these two are like perfect for each other.
Yeah.
I
Russell wasn't just gonna lob it up in the air.
Now every other part of the offense is gonna, like he's throwing screen passes to the ground, like.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he definitely looked rusty. There was a lot of balls hitting the dirt on short throws, looked a little rushed out there, especially the first half. First half was like lots of boos every time Russ was out there, but that was the most points that the Steelers have scored since 2021, I believe. Maybe 2019 or something like. It's been a while.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so it's hard to argue with the results.
So bad.
Like when the offense just puts up points, it's especially like the Jets were banged up, but they're an above average defense by all means.
Yeah.
I'm just going back to when he was with the Broncos and Peyton. The whole thing was, one day they're gonna score 30-something points. The other day they're scoring 6 points.
Yep.
If you take care of certain things, you can easily make Russ look really bad. So
for
that's
sure.
what I'm concerned about.
Yep, I think that's a fair concern. But I think we're all on the same page that we expect to see more from Pickens going forward. Like, just based on opportunities. Yeah. I think he's going to have the chance to put together a nice season where he can have a consistent finish for once.
Maybe at a minimum, at least, if Justin Fields ever gets back in the game, he learns a little something and says, all right, I'm just going to throw some rainbows to
right.
George Pickens,
Yeah, this could be a really good thing for Fields.
But that's true.
I think I was just agreeing with you. Sorry,
it sounded sarcastic.
No, I do think so because I've definitely become a fan of Justin Fields recently because with the Steelers. But.
I thought that Justin Fields handled everything very well and very professionally. I saw he made a comment when they asked him if he thought he did enough to be the starter, where he said, if I'm being honest with you guys and myself, it wouldn't be a question of who's starting this week if I did enough. Yeah. So I didn't do enough, and I can live with that. And
I think what's cool is that we finally get to see how good George Pickens actually is, and
Hopefully.
I think with how he played on Monday or whatever, or was it Sunday? It was Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday.
But I think I just see how he was making plays downfield, and I was like,
Absolutely.
dude, that dude's a freak.
Dude, you don't want a guy like this to be. If you're coaching a football team, though, you don't want a guy like this on your team.
Who, Pickens?
Yeah, man.
No,
you're always trying to figure out how to motivate him. Like, you don't want
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. I would compare it very similarly to Stephon Diggs, where it's if he's being fed the ball, everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
As far as locker room and media goes, but eventually, sometimes it comes a time where the game plan has to deviate from that. We know you're just throwing at George Pickens every play because George Pickens is going to throw a fit if you don't, and you got to mix it up, and that definitely causes problems. We've seen that with Diggs, and Pickens has definitely shown his frustrations many times before. He has no qualms about doing that. So
the only thing I would say about that is there's not too many better teams for him to go to for that.
Oh yeah, because
It's
there's nobody else to throw.
Exactly.
To,
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
Well, I meant more for Mike Tomlin.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a head coach's job to, like, Bill Belichick was so good at turning trash players, people who had overhead cases. They acted good on his team until, like AB and Josh Gordon. Like, I mean, he turned bad players into good players because, like, they couldn't handle being on the other teams and stuff like that. It's like a good head coach, that's what they do. So.
Yeah, to your point, I mean, we've seen post Steelers, Le'Veon Bell, kind of, kind of out there as a guy.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown, kind of a personality. Like, these are guys who we didn't hear about that. We didn't see that stuff when they were in Pittsburgh. I think Tomlin, for what we see out of George Pickens, there's probably a lot more behind the scenes that we don't see, and Tomlin probably does a good job of keeping that kind of stuff under wraps.
Dude, there's another thing too. These guys, when they talk about Mike Tomlin after their career, they like it brings them to tears to talk about it.
Oh yeah, like, all around a very respected guy. When you guys played the Jets, you guys had 12 men on the field on defense, and Tomlin hustled down the sideline because that's the Rodgers special. Oh, free play, I'm bombing one deep. He sprinted down the sideline and called timeout. And Rodgers looked over at him. Tomlin